You know Coleus, right? If you've ever walked through a garden center, you've definitely seen it. It's like a painter's palette for the garden, with leaves in every color you can possibly imagine. But you know what? Its incredible beauty isn't even the most amazing thing about it. Let's dig into the simple science that makes this amazing plant practically free.
Seriously, the best thing about this plant is its absolute unstoppable will to live. It's a member of the mint family, and if you know anything about mint, well, you know it has this almost aggressive desire to grow. And that is exactly what we are going to use to our advantage.
And when I say advantage, I mean a huge advantage. I'm going to show you how to take just one, single Coleus plant that you buy in the spring, and by the middle of summer, turn it into 50 identical plants, all for a grand total of $0. Okay, so before we grab our scissors, we need to understand the simple biology that makes all of this possible. It really does feel like magic, but it's pure science, and it all comes down to one very specific part of the plant. And this is it, the node. It's that slightly bumpy spot on the stem right where the leaves emerge. You can think of it as a biological jackpot, just packed with these special cells that are basically waiting for a signal to spring into action and become brand new roots. This tiny spot, it's the key to everything. And understanding this difference is, well, it's the key to success versus total failure. You have to cut at the node. The internode, that's the smooth section of stem between the bumpy nodes, it just doesn't have the same root growing ability. Getting this one little detail right is everything. So with the science down, let's get to the fun part, the how-to. This is honestly one of the easiest and most rewarding things you can do in gardening, and it all starts with just taking a simple cutting. First, find a nice, healthy stem on your plant. You want to pick one that isn't trying to make flowers. We want all its energy focused on making roots, not seeds. Then, snip off a 4 to 6 inch piece, making your cut right below a node. Then, and this is critical, strip off all the leaves from the bottom half of that stem. But wait, why? Why are we removing perfectly good leaves? It seems a little destructive, right? Well, the answer is simple. Any leaf you leave on the stem that ends up underwater is going to immediately start to rot. That rot fouls the water with bacteria, and it will absolutely kill your new cutting before it even has a chance to grow a single root. Now for the really easy part, just grab any jar, fill it with regular old tap water, and pop your cutting inside. Just make sure those bare nodes are submerged and the top leaves stay nice and dry. And please, don't forget to change the water every few days. This keeps it fresh and full of oxygen. The final piece of the setup is just picking the right spot. You want bright, indirect light. A hot, sunny windowsill will literally cook the stem in the water. So think of a kitchen counter a few feet from a window. That's the perfect spot. Okay, so in about a week or two, you're gonna see this explosion of little white roots. It's so exciting to see. But this is the exact moment where a lot of people make a critical mistake that dooms their new plant. We need to talk about the water root warning. Here's what you absolutely have to understand. Roots grown in water are not the same as roots grown in soil. They are fundamentally different structures. They're delicate, they're brittle, and they're adapted for a 100% aquatic life.
I mean, think about it. Water roots have never had to search for moisture or push their way through soil, so they're incredibly fragile. If you take them straight from their cozy water bath and plant them in regular, dryish potting soil, they'll just collapse from shock, and your plant will wilt and die.
So here's the fix. It's super simple. Once the roots are about an inch or two long, go ahead and plant your cutting in a pot with soil. But for that entire first week, you need to keep that soil soggy, really wet. You're basically weaning the plant off its water-only environment and helping it build tougher soil roots. Then, over the next 2 weeks, you can gradually reduce the watering back to normal. And hey, if you run into any trouble, here's a quick guide. If the stem gets all black and mushy, that's bacterial rot. You gotta toss it and start over with a clean jar. If the top leaves are wilting before you see any roots, they're just losing too much water. You can actually snip those big leaves in half to fix it. And if you see green algae in the jar, that's just a sign to move it to a spot with less sun or just change the water more often. Easy peasy. And now, for the payoff. After just a few weeks, you've taken one single stem and turned it into a fully independent plant. You just repeat this process, and before you know it, you'll have a whole plant army at your command. And this is what you've unlocked. You can now save your favorite plants from winter by just taking a few cuttings indoors. You can fill massive garden beds with vibrant, beautiful color for absolutely no money. You have an endless supply of free gifts for friends and family. And most importantly, you've mastered a really foundational skill in gardening.
It is such an incredibly empowering feeling to create new life from a simple cutting. It connects you to your plants in a whole new way, all just by unlocking the secret that was hidden in the node. So, the only question left is, are you ready to go build your $0 garden?